Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribharadhari Jaya Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribharadhari Jashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vana Chari Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Gopi Jana Vallabha Giribharadhari Yashodanandana Braja Jana Ranjana Jamuna Tira Vanachari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Stotra Sri Srimad A.C. Bhakti Vedanta Swami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Jai Om Vishnupad Paramahansa Parivrajaka Stotra Sri Srimad Bhakti Siddhanta Saraswati Goswami Maharaj Prabhupada Ki Jai. Ananta Koti Vaishnavrinda Ki Jai. Nama Charja Srila Haridas Thakur Ki Jai. Prem se kaho Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Shiva Shadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. Sri Sri Radha Krishna Gop Gopinath Sham Kunda Radha Kundagiri Govardhan Ki Jai. Vrindavan Dham Ki Jai. Navadip Dham Ki Jai. Jagannath Puri Ki Jai. Gangamai Ki Jai. Jamunamai Ki Jai. Tulsi Devi Ki Jai, Bhakti Devi Ki Jai, Samaveta Bhakta Vrinda Ki Jai. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. All glories to the assembled devotees. Gaur Premanande, Hari Hari Bol. What's our verse today? Good. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Jara. What do you see? Yeah, Jara. That's with a D with a dot under it, right? Jara, Anta. Jara, Anta, Badhira, Unmata, Mukha, Akriti, Atat, Matihi, Lakshitaha, Pati, Palanam, Prashanta, Archihi, Eva, Analaha, Jaranda, Badhiron Mata, Mukha Kritir Atan Matihi, Lakshita Patibalanam, Prashantarchir Ivanalaha, Jaranda Badhiron Mata, Mukha Kritir Atan Matihi, Lakshita Patibalanam, Prashantarchir Ivanalaha. Jara, foolish. Anta, blind. Badhira, deaf. Unmata, mad. Mukha, dumb. Akritihi, appearance. Atat, not like that. Matihi, is intelligence. Lakshitaha, he was seen. Pati, on the road. Balanam, by the less intelligent. Prashanta, calmed. Archihi, with flames. Eva, like. Analaha, fire. Utkal appeared to the less intelligent persons on the road to be foolish, blind, dumb, deaf, and mad, although actually he was not so. He remained like fire covered with ashes, without blazing flames. Purport: in order to avoid contradiction, botheration, and unfavorable situations created by materialistic persons, a great saintly person like Jodhbharat or Utkal remains silent. The less intelligent consider such saintly persons mad, deaf, or dumb. Factually, an advanced devotee avoids speaking with persons who are not in devotional life. But to those who are in devotional life, he speaks in friendship, and he speaks to the innocent for their enlightenment. For all practical purposes, the whole world is full of non-devotees, and so one kind of very advanced devotee is called Bhajananandi. Those who are Goshtyanandi, however, preach to increase the number of devotees. But even such preachers also avoid opposing elements who are unfavorably disposed toward spiritual life. Om Ajnana Timirandasya Gyananjana Shalakaya Chakshurmilitam Jena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Shri Chaitanya Manobhistam Stapitam Jena Bhutale Swayam Rupakada Mahyam Dadati Shapadantikam Vandehang Shri Guru Shri Jatapadakamalang Shri Gurun Vaishnavamscha Shri Rupam Shagrajatam Shahagana Raganatan Vitam Stam Sajivam Sadvaitam Savadhutam Parijana Sahitam Krishna Chaitanya Devam Shri Radha Krishna Padan Shahagana Lolita Shri Vishakhan Vitamscha E Krishna Karuna Sindho Dina Bandho Jagatpate Gopesha Gopika Kanta Radha Kanta Namostute Tapta Kanchana Gaurangi Radhe Vrindavaneshwari Vrishabhanu Sute Devi Pranamami Odipriye Vancha Kolpatarubhyascha Kripa Sindho Bhyevacha Patitanam Pavanebhyo Vaishnavebhyo Namo Namah Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhar Srivasadi Gaur Bhakta Vrinda Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare Sharanda Badhironmatta Mukha Kritir Atanmatihi Lokshita Pati Balanam Prashantarchir Ivanalaha. So this is the position of Utkal. He was on the highest platform of spiritual realization, but outwardly he appeared foolish, blind, dumb, unmata, mad. Appeared that way. The saying is that looks are deceiving. Or to the common people, he appeared in this way. Balanam means childish, less intelligent. Balisheshu. Srila Prabhupada comments that the Gosyanandis, the preachers, recognize different classes of people. Some are devotees, and one devotee makes friends with another devotee. Then there are the demonic, or those who are avidly opposed to Krishna consciousness. And for them, the devotee does the kindness of ignoring them, avoiding them. Better to avoid them. But Balisheshu, those who are innocent, just childish, foolish, for them the devotee is kind. kripopeksha. Kripa and upeksha. Upeksha, he avoids the demons, but he's merciful to the childish materialists. He tries in different ways to give them Krishna consciousness. They're not opposed. They're just unfamiliar, uneducated, going with the flow of materialistic life. But if they're given the opportunity to become Krishna conscious, then it's possible. Then it's possible. Balisheshu. But there's another class of devotees, bhajananandis. Bhajananandis are very advanced, but they don't have a desire to give Krishna consciousness to others. They may wish them well, but their focus is on their own bhajan. Bhajan means devotional service, devotional activities. Well, the bhajananandis take pleasure in their own devotional activities, chanting, hearing, remembering Krishna, and so on. And that's also on the transcendental platform of Krishna consciousness. But the Gosyanandis are still more appreciated because they not only cultivate Krishna consciousness, but distribute Krishna consciousness to others. So this is the path taught by Srila Bhaktisiddhanta Saraswati Thakur, by Srila Prabhupada, and we're trying to follow in that line. For the Balanam, the less intelligent, he appeared to be foolish. Actually, they were less intelligent. If they'd been more intelligent, they would have seen that he was also very intelligent, the most intelligent. But because they were foolish, they thought that he was foolish. The expression is, it takes one to know one. Those who are advanced in Krishna consciousness can see. Just like Shukadeva Goswami, he was wandering about naked and disheveled, not disheveled because he was naked, but with his hair matted or whatever. And so the women and children were following him around and laughing at him and so on. That's sort of typical. Children will see someone unusual and they'll laugh and they'll tease and some less intelligent women may also behave like that. So that was Sukadeva Goswami. He was being followed about by such people. But then when he arrived at the assembly of sages, at the bank of the Ganga, then the sages all stood up to honor him. They could understand. Because they were sages, they could recognize another sage, and in particular a sage who was very highly advanced. So while the children and village women were just laughing and joking, the sages all treated him with great respect. And then the children and women, they went away. They saw, okay, we're out of our league here. This is something else. So Balanam, the childish people, thought that Utkal was just a crazy fellow and stupid. But it was by plan. He put on an antic disposition But there was, so it appeared to be madness, but there was some method in it. He wanted to avoid the association of materialistic life. He could have been the king and had great responsibility in the kingdom and great honor and respect and enjoyment, but that was not for him. He was not interested in this material world, and therefore he had a scheme, a plan. And if I appear like I know what I'm doing, then they'll make me the king, and I'll be entangled in all of these mundane affairs. But if I appear to be a madman, foolish, dumb, blind, deaf, then they'll conclude, oh, this man is useless. He can't do anything, and they'll leave me alone. So it was a plan, and in fact it worked. They passed him over for kingship and gave it to his younger brother, I think. Yes, his younger brother. So it was an effective plan. Jayadvaita had a similar plan after having been Bharat Maharaj and having left his kingdom, but being enchanted by a tiny deer and having deviated from the course. When he was next born, he took his birth as Jayadvaita. Actually, one lifetime as a deer, but then the next life he was born again in the royal family. But he pretended to be a fool. And the father would try to teach him something, but he couldn't learn anything. So again, it was a ruse, it was a deception, a deliberate plan. When some palanquin carriers were carrying the king, Rahugana, and they needed to recruit one more man, they pressed him into service, Jayadvaita, because he looked like a stout worker. But while carrying the palanquin, the Jayadvaita saw that on the path there were little ants and so on. So he was trying to avoid stepping on them, because a saintly person doesn't want to commit violence needlessly to any living being. But the result of this was that the king was getting jostled. He's sitting in the palanquin and he's getting jostled like the way you get from potholes in New York City. He was being tossed this way and that way. So the king upbraided him. What are you doing? Don't you don't know how to carry a palanquin? You're dullard. And then Jayadvaita responded with a spiritual reply. I don't remember the opening verse, but you're thinking that you're a king, and you're thinking in terms of the bodily concept of life, and you're forgetting Krishna. So the king could understand, he's a great saintly person, and now I've committed an offense at his lotus feet. So then the king changed and heard submissively from Jayadvaita. But until that time, he appeared just to be an oaf,
a clumsy, incapable, unintelligent person by his own plan, not to be entangled in this material world. Those who are advanced have that determination. I don't want to be entangled in this material world. The Kumaras also, when asked by their father, Lord Brahma, to marry and increase the population, refused. That was Brahma's main engagement in the beginning of creation. We've got this universe. It's meant to be filled up with living entities, so we need to give them the opportunity to be born here. So, but the Kumars wouldn't accept, no, my dear father, we're not going to be entangled in family life. We'll remain Kumaras, brahmacharis. That was their determination, not to get entangled in the materialistic affairs, materialistic way of life, to avoid all these things and remain fixed exclusively on Krishna consciousness. So that was their program. That was Bharat Maharaj's, Jad Bharat's program. That was Utkal's program, to remain absorbed in Krishna consciousness and let the common people think I'm a fool. Sahanasha sarvabhutanam tasyam jagrati samyami tasyam jagrati bhutani sahanasha pashato munehe. What the common people see as night, the enlightened person sees it as day. And what the common person sees as day, the enlightened person sees as night. The materialists are very enthusiastic for economic development and sense gratification. Maybe a little dharma for the sake of material progress. But the self-realized person is not attracted to those things. Dhiras tatra numuhyati. He sees this is all useless. And so he wants to focus on the reality. He wants to focus on devotional service to Krishna. So that was Utkal's purpose. And therefore he appeared prashantarchiva anala, like a fire that's surrounded by ashes. When a fire is really going, you see the flames, you see the whole snap, crackle, and pop, and all the fiery activity. But at a certain stage of fire, it's just coals, embers, ashes, and it doesn't look like there's much there. Doesn't look like there's much there. But still it's fire. And it's from those kinds of fires that these massive forest fires develop. Some campers are there, they think the fire is dead, but the coals are still alive, and it catches onto something, some dried leaves, and then you have a forest fire. So it may seem that a devotee is just an ordinary person. He may look like just an ordinary fellow, or less, just like a beggar, or like a person who can't get it together, or in some other way materially incapable. Therefore, the taunt from the materialists, they see devotees chanting and they shout, "Get a job!" They think that's it, real life hasn't started if you're not working. So it doesn't matter. You may work like an ass, but that's real life. And you're just singing and dancing. You're wasting your time. They can't see. But by the efforts of the devotees, even though it may seem that they don't have much in the way of assets, they may not have money, they may not have nice clothing, they may not be this or not be that, but their effort to spread Krishna consciousness may become hugely successful, so that it becomes things spread like wildfire. When our devotees went to London, first devotees, they were just 4 people with no assets. They didn't have enough money really to all enter the country. They didn't have a place to stay. They didn't have great assets of any sort, weren't established in any way. But by their efforts, Krishna consciousness spread like anything. So it may have appeared like the fire was hardly there, but no, the fire was there, and the little effort, and it becomes like a forest fire. So this is the mood of the Gosjanandi. Even he may approach a common person, please take a book, please chant Hare Krishna, and that person may seem like, he'll never go anywhere with it, but anyway, we'll give him something. But somehow, by Krishna's arrangement, that person may go on to become a powerful devotee and spread Krishna consciousness like anything. We don't know. So, Eva Prashanta, Prashantiva, Anala. All right, are there some questions, comments? Yes? He didn't want, Jayadvaita was avoiding the ants because he didn't want to harm any living entities. Yes? What do we do in the temple when there's cockroaches? Prabhupada said you should be killed. The cockroaches and other such creatures, Prabhupada said, come where things are dirty. So, summit cleanliness, Prabhupada said, we should be super clean so that they won't come. Something else? Yes? You have to speak very loud because I'm half deaf and the room has terrible acoustics. I didn't hear anything except one word. Oh, good.
Hare Krishna, can you hear me?
Now I can, if you speak slowly and distinctly.
While hearing your lecture, I was realizing 2 things.
Did you hear that, Krishna Kripa?
During the lecture, I was realizing.
You were oh, good, okay.
First thing is when you were talking about how Utkala Maharaj was acting like a foolish in front of the materialistic people, but he was a great devotee inside, and that kind of teaches.
The first thing was Utkal was acting like a foolish person, and then?
In front of the materialistic people.
Did you hear? Could you read that out? In front of materialistic people, yes.
And like we try to, as a practicing devotee, sometimes that weed of trying to self-glorify ourselves is there. And that
As
kind
practicing devotees, Krishna Kripa, pay attention.
that weed of glorifying ourselves, like the tendency to glorify ourselves is there sometimes.
We want to purify ourselves. We want to glorify ourselves.
Yeah. So, but we should follow our acharyas, and it shows that how we should, keep our bhajan thing hidden.
We should follow our acharyas and keep our bhajan hidden. Okay, go ahead.
And then next thing is
Keep our bhajan. I hear this quote a lot, keep your bhajan hidden. But practically speaking, we saw that Srila Prabhupada didn't hide his bhajan. Someone wants to get in the front door. Prabhupada didn't keep his bhajan hidden. He was chanting Hare Krishna at Tompkins Square Park. He was, in so many ways, very open about his bhajan. Now, there may be confidential aspects of our bhajan. What's going on within, that we may not share with everyone. The Sahajas are boasting, oh, Krishna came and embraced me, Krishna this, that, all bluff. But the advanced devotee doesn't flaunt his confidential connection with Krishna for cheap name and fame. That's so something is meant to be confidential, something is out in the open. Even what's out in the open, the devotee doesn't advertise. Oh, I chanted this many rounds every day, and I'm doing this and I'm doing that. It's not for reputation. It's not for reputation. It's for pleasing Krishna.
And next thing is
So, just one thing. So the tendency is there to glorify ourselves, but the self of the self is Krishna. The question was asked to Sukadeva Goswami, that why were the people of Vrindavan so affectionate to Krishna? And the answer was given that just like we all like to take care of our body, we're all concerned about our body. Why? Because the soul is there. So why are we concerned with the soul? Because Krishna is there. So the tendency to glorify oneself should just be adjusted so that we glorify the Supreme Self, Krishna. Where you have a tendency to glorify, all right, glorify Krishna. Yes?
And the next thing is, I was realizing that how we should not judge anyone, because we do not know what's really, how intense their...
We should not do what?
We shouldn't judge anyone.
Judge anyone. No, why not?
Because we do not know outwardly, outwardly they may seem
You don't know what?
Seem dull or
But you have to judge. Otherwise, why is Bhagavatam saying that this is how you should treat the advanced devotees, this is how you should treat the innocent, this is how you should treat the demonic? If you can't judge, you can't follow that instruction. Rupa Goswami, Krishneti yasya giritam manasajriyeta. When there's someone who's chanting Hare Krishna, then offer him respect in the mind. Then if someone's initiated, he's following principles, then offer him obeisances. And he's very expert in devotional service, and he has all good qualities. He's free from tendency to criticize others and so many other unwanted things in the heart, then you should be very keen to serve him and hear from him. So that means you have to judge. You have to see who's neophyte, who's advanced. So you need to be careful, because we know that I have a tendency to make mistakes. I have a tendency to minimize others. So I should be, in making a judgment, I have to be careful. But still I have to make a judgment. This idea, non-judgmental, this is not coming from Bhagavatam. This is coming from contemporary community values in the material world. Oh, don't judge anyone. It's also there, judge not, lest you be judged. But some evaluation has to be there. Otherwise, how can you function? How can you function? We make a distinction between fresh food and old food, between real money and counterfeit money, between a person who's, in so many ways. So we should be able to distinguish who's who's a candidate, who's not a candidate. We shouldn't be quick to judge, just thinking, judging everybody as inferior because we're the greatest. But we have to see. Here are the innocent people, here's the devotee, here's the antagonistic person. If you can't judge, you can't do anything about anything. Can't buy anything at a store, can't, without, you have to be able to evaluate. That's intelligence. But we should be careful, that's all. Anything else? Yes. How to overcome the effect of getting entangled in this material world? Chant Hare Krishna. We're always surrounded with material things, so chant Hare Krishna. And the consciousness goes down, so chant Hare Krishna. Kirtaniya Sada, Hari. We're in the materialistic atmosphere, and therefore Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was given this simple method, chant Hare Krishna. Mame ye prapadyante mayam etam tarantite. Maya is very strong, but if one surrenders to Krishna, then one can cross over the obstacle of Maya. So surrendering to Krishna, chanting Hare Krishna, that means surrendering to Krishna. I could be doing something else, but instead I chant Hare Krishna. And because I'm chanting Hare Krishna, I'm Krishna conscious instead of Maya conscious. So it's a simple thing. You don't have to make it complicated. If we just chant Hare Krishna, then Mukta Sangha Param Brajet, we can be freed from Yaha Krishna Taha Maya Nahi Adhikar. The Maya is like darkness and Krishna is like the sun. So where there's Krishna, there can't be Maya. And Krishna is not different from the name of Krishna. So where we chant Hare Krishna, Maya can't act. Is that okay? Okay. Yes, other? No, loud. I couldn't hear that. Did you hear? How do we not offend? A person by doing what? Seeing the external. You have to be educated to know what are the qualifications of a devotee, how to detect. And you have to depend on Krishna also to help you, because it's not always so evident. So if we depend on Krishna, then Krishna, Dadami Buddhi Yogam Tam, he'll give you the intelligence. And at the same time, one has to know what are the signs of a devotee, what are the signs of a cheater. Is that okay? Yes.
Hare Krishna Maharaj, you said Kirtaniya Sadahari, so to chant constantly, but that verse also says like Trinadepi Suni.
Krishna Kripa, are you helping me?
Yeah.
Hmm?
The verse also says like we must be as humble as a blade of grass and tolerant as a tree in order to be able to chant constantly. So if we haven't
Hold
come...
on, I'm getting a translation. We have to be humble. To chant constantly, we have to be humble and tolerant. Yes.
So if we aren't there yet, how do we chant constantly? Do we just fake it until we make it? Or and the humility will come as a result of the holy name?
What is that?
If we're not so tolerant and humble, how do we chant constantly?
Well, chant as much as you can, and then the more you chant, the more you'll become tolerant and humble. The more you become tolerant and humble, the more you can chant. Is that okay?
Thank you, Maharaj.
Hare Krishna. All right, shall we stop here? Thank you all very much. Hare Krishna. All glories to Srila Prabhupada.